Hi, everybody. I'm Candid Frank. That's Gary Groob, and we have a very special guest today, Fraser. And if you recognize him, you're doing good, because to see him through a face mask, it's pretty good deal. Chase, welcome to the program.
Happy to be here.
Buffalo Bandits, not a bad team, huh?
No, it's not a bad team. I don't know, that's 3 years in a row, right?
Absolutely. All right. So the big question we always like to ask is how you picked up the stick.
Man, funny thing was, so I have 5 younger brothers. 3 of us are kind of like the same age, but one of my brothers, like they actually played before I did. Um, they were running around. I was a baseball and football kid growing up. My brothers actually played a little bit before I did, and as soon as I saw them playing, I was like, oh, I was interested. And then I'm pretty sure I saw like on TV, it was the Vancouver Ravens were playing the Toronto Rock or something like that, and there was this massive fight, and I'm like, yes, please, mom, please, like I need to play. And then so I think I was around 5 to 7, that kind of range when I started picking up a stick, and then played box. Only played box until I was 12, and picked up playing field lacrosse and started out as a D pole, and then career kind of started from 13 years old for lacrosse from there.
What kept you in the game?
Just loved it. Just there was always something going on, like moving, like had to either get somebody open, get yourself open, a lot of physical contact. And yeah, I just was something that I was able to do on my free time, also whenever I wanted. Like, right, lacrosse gives you that freedom to pick your stick up and just go hit the wall somewhere. Or, and like I said, I had my brothers that played, so we just go to the backyard and spend hours back there just playing. You know?
Now you played junior with Delta with the Islanders.
Yeah.
Talk about getting in and being in with that group, because that's a whole lot different than just playing minor league and playing field.
Yeah, so I played minor out of Langley actually, and then 2 years at intermediate in Langley, and then going into my junior year, because back when I was playing, there was the intermediate out west and junior separation.
Right.
So once I was going into my junior draft or whatever it was, I got traded from Langley to Delta for junior. Delta was kind of trying to load up to contend, because the Delta used to be really, really good back in the day with like Mallory, Shuss, Jonesy was on that junior team, I think, like that. So they were just trying to get back to that kind of like winning kind of atmosphere. Because I don't know, did you go to the President's Cup? Not this past summer, the one last year.
Mm-hmm.
Just playing in that arena it was awesome. So that's where I played my junior kind of career, and getting drafted or not drafted, traded to Delta was kind of like the first time of like, oh, like I'm not playing with my friends anymore. But at that time, I was lucky enough to get traded with my best friend Reese Callies. So we were like a package deal when coming out there. So we went out to Delta together, which was a little bit of an adjustment. Going into a new team, especially me, I've always had that same kind of image on my head on my back for the whole career of just that guy you hate, but once he's on your teammate, you kind of love him. But no, we had Eli McLaughlin was on that team. Cody Nass, like that. There's a lot of young talent with that. Even like older guys. Why am I drawing a blank right now on some of these players? But yeah, no, it was just like going into it, but I knew we had like a good core of guys and got along. And just first year we weren't great, not gonna lie. Second year we got really good, got better. But then that my third year at Delta, that's when we had 20 or 17, 18 graduating players. Picked up a couple guys from the East, and
Right.
had like, I want to say, one of the best teams that never did it at the end of the day. 'Cause,
Right.
we won the West and beat Coquitlam for the first time. I think it was in 7 years that they lost the West, or like it wasn't like a sweep or something crazy like that. That might be crazy on the sweep part, but yeah, we beat them for the first time in 7 years, and we celebrated that like we won the Minto, and then came into the Minto that year. I think it was 15 or 16, 16,
2016, yeah.
16, and then yeah, just first loss to Alberta, and then it was just an uphill climb from there, and we weren't really able to climb that hill.
Right. But that was really your first year of really breaking out. You had 42 goals that year. That's really when we started hearing the name Fraser, and
Yeah.
he's going to be something coming up.
Yeah, no, so I did high school in Virginia before that. So I like when I left home at 13 years old, went down to a prep school down there, which like really helped develop my kind of just athleticism. I wasn't just playing lacrosse. I wrestled, I played football, I tried to play basketball. Like I tried to do everything down there that I could have just because it just needed something to do.
Right.
But yeah, no, so it helped like develop my athleticism and just like me as an athlete in general, and then really like I was super focused on being an offensive player because I went to high school to be an attackman, so I just was like I said on the wall shooting all the time, and then which helped pay off when I came back into junior. I think it was after my so that'd have been that 16 year. No, that'd have been college, but it was 16. Holy smokes. States are getting crazy. But yeah, no, just I guess like college and high school and just being like able to develop through that. And in college, I was like the number one guy on as a freshman in a new Division II school team. So kind of like helped with confidence in a sense of being like, hey, I can do this and like just kind of do my thing around the floor and just be aggressive and take chances in certain areas. And a lot of those chances ended up pulling off, and also just I don't know, tenacious. I don't like losing.
Right.
What
Well,
did
that
you
makes
learn from the college experience?
College was an interesting experience for me. So I did 3 years Division II school. Went to University of the District of Columbia, which is right downtown, the heart of Washington D.C. Real small school. Like I said, it was a first year program. I went down there was coached by Scott Urich, who is the son of Dave Urich, who was Hobart legend. Scott was a 3 or 4 time All-American at Georgetown, coached at Georgetown. So that was the really intriguing reason for me to go to that school. I learned a lot of just sitting in his office, talking lacrosse, and just like different techniques, watching old film of him playing Team Canada, in older, I think it was 90s or 2002 or something like that, of just like showing me all those films, learned a lot with that. But yeah, no, with it being a newer program and having a mixture of kind of like talent and all that kind of aspect of things, the JUCO kids that played lacrosse for 3 years, guys like myself who played their whole lives. It was a good learning experience. I'm really glad that I went to UDC for those 3 years, had a lot of fun there, built a lot of friendships with those guys. But then I ended up transferring to Newman University in
right.
Philadelphia, or just outside of Philly. Funny thing about that, so my head coach Scott Urich at UDC was leaving, and I was like, "Hey, it's probably like a good time for me to transfer out of here as well." Had a pretty like I was talking to Albany, RIT, and like Newman were like my top three kind of things going. RIT matched the offer and all that. Albany was matched as well, but I had to do an extra year, and I didn't get scholarship for that one. So I was like, "Hey, I don't want to pay for an extra year of school." So Albany's out, and then I went between RIT and Newman. And then my brother ended up going to Westtown School, Westtown Academy, which is in Westchester, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
which is 20 minutes away from where Newman University was. So I was like, hey, this makes like a lot of sense. He's leaving home. He's 13, 14 years old. Like I'm 21. Like it's might as well just go be close to my brother, my family, help him if he needs anything. Like I got 1 year of eligibility left, and the coach at Newman University was my high school head coach. So it just like it just everything just kind of fell into place for me to be there.
Yeah.
So I went there and I enjoyed that a lot. Played against some pretty competitive teams like Dowling right after they won the national championship. Played against Cabrini and all that, and I don't know. Actually, they got a couple buddies on Cabrini now, just from hanging out or like going to workouts with them and stuff like that. So, but living in Philly was a lot of fun. Living in DC is a lot of fun. Living in Buffalo, man, I've just been making my way up the Eastern Seaboard here for since I was 13 years old, man.
That's awesome. But Newman, really, you exploded. You came into your own there because you think you had 66 goals in 14 games, and coming into drafts, both WLA and NLL both took notice right away because, man, you came into your own as an offensive player there.
Yeah, it was Kyle Gardner. He was my coach in high school and the coach there, and him bringing me into Newman. They were like kind of like a rebuild kind of year. They didn't win, I think, a game for like the first or the 2 seasons before that, or maybe one. And it was just like, hey, like you come here, you can help, and just I'll give you the reins and just like do your thing. Just help kind of develop these freshman class because I think he had brought in 16 freshmen with me that year, and so I basically was like kind of a freshman at the end of the day, coming into a new school, new team. So I was like part of that kind of class, hung out with them a bunch, and they did pretty well for a couple of years after that I left, and it was great. And but no, and when I was there, it was free reign just to kind of just play whatever kind of ball that I wanted, and we'd sit in offices and talk about stuff and go over formations and all that kind of stuff. But had a lot of fun learning there, and then still had a year left of school after that, and he actually asked me to join. I was like part of their offensive coordinating for my 5th year of school there. So
Nice.
yeah, I had a lot of fun there.
Now, you got drafted both by WLA and NLL at the same time. First, I want to talk about the WLA one first because going into Nanaimo, you're drafted third overall, and you're named Rookie of the Year that year.
Yeah.
So all the lessons you learned came full throttle.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, going into that WLA season, I was like Rookie of the Year with that. I just, something about playing box, I just get a little bit of more of like just an edge to me. And like, I don't know, I'm a initiate contact type of person before you hit me. And just like, I don't know, feel like I play pretty fast is what I'm trying to say. And so, and just like going into that WLA with that, it was just basically trying to set myself up for a better NLL stock with that case, and was playing with Ryan Lee, who got the Rookie of the Year before that. And so just kind of like playing off of him, like reading him, asking him questions about things, and then just kind of going. But Kevin Crowley was a massive kind of influence to my kind of lacrosse career in general. Backtrack a bit. When I was in ninth grade, eighth grade, I was playing rugby at my school in Aldergrove, and his cousin was my English teacher and my rugby coach, and I didn't know at the time, but I was like right when I was like box was picking up, I was might have been playing field at the time, so it was just a lot of lacrosse and like other sports, and then I was like I didn't want to balance playing rugby as well, so I was like, hey, like I'm gonna go just focus on lacrosse. Like I got travel teams, my club teams, like I'm doing a lot. And he like pulls me into his office and he's got a newspaper clipping and he just kind of hands it to me. I look at it and he goes, Kevin Crowley, all-star, Stony Brook lacrosse player, multi-sport athlete. And I'm just like, all right, you got me. Okay, I'll play. Like, so did that, and then kind of like started watching Kevin from that point on. Like he was at Stony Brook there, and then a bit when he was in WLA playing for New West, and then when he was with the Hounds in Charlotte there in the MLL. Like I followed Kevin a lot, and so that's kind of like the main guy who I watched with like how he shot and all that kind of stuff with that, and also Curtis Dixon with his creativity and the way he puts the ball in the net is something that I paid a lot of attention to growing up and just or observing the game. But yeah, no, so yeah, Kevin gave me a lot of help with that kind of thing. I forget where I was going with that. The backtrack thing with the rugby and Kevin Crowley and the WLA. Yeah, I just wanted to be kind of I got it tattooed on my ribs, just be the best.
Right.
And just like it's whatever you're trying to do, just be the best of what you're trying to do or be at. And so it's just kind of a thing that I try and live my life by.
Right. It worked. It worked
Yeah.
because you had Buffalo, you had Chugger take notice. And he was rebuilding at the time. He'd more or less just come in and trying to rebuild this program. He had Dane the year before. He had Josh Byrne first overall in the draft. And of course, I would talk to you off air about this. Is I was there and taking pictures of you guys, and there you are, 13th overall with your brand new Bandits jersey, and looks a lot like the one I got over my head here.
Yeah.
That's the O'Brien one from way back when.
Oh, right on, Billy O.B.
Oh yeah, but brings me to the question. One of my favorites to ask is: your very first training camp, was it what you thought it would be?
Man, my first training camp was Troy Cordingley coaching this, and I had no idea what to expect. Everyone was just like, "Hey, it's going to be tough." And one of the first drills that I like kind of remember, it was literally just, "All right, grab a partner, line up on the boards. We're going 1-on-1 without a ball from boards to boards." I'm like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "All right." So just going, and we're just hammering each other for like, I'm like, "Okay, good, okay." Got it. I guess it's gonna be intense. And then throughout that, it was just I was like, "Hey, just shut up and just try and listen and just do what you're told and just go with like pay attention, basically, kind of thing." And picked up that. But yeah, no, it was the speed of camp and just like the intensity that it takes your first couple bit. And I remember first kind of scrimmage. I think we played either it might have been Raj and came in down like what came down underneath and tried to do like a classic crease dive that I normally do, and I'm pretty sure I got suckered by Vino and Billy D landed on my back, and I'm like, "Oh," and like my knees just got all torn up, and I got off the bench. I'm like, "All right, these are some big men." Like it's a little bit different, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was, I mean, there's an adjustment period for everybody. Like going there, just like calibrating yourself to the speed you need to play at, and then finding that happy medium for yourself to be able to just get the job done.
Yeah. Who was the first veteran who basically took you under their wing when you got into Buffalo?
Craig England.
Really?
Yeah, Craig England. He he was yeah, number 88 at War here back in Angie. He showed up here for a bit. I remember my first rookie camp. I hung out for the Sunday for the Bills game. I think I ended up staying or something like that. And then he was the one who dropped me off at the airport the next morning and whatever and all that kind of stuff. But him and Callum Crawford were the other, like him and them both, and took good care of me there. And never know, every time that we went out, me and Craigie would have some fun and just have good conversations about the expectations of the league and just like, "Hey, take care of yourself and make sure you have something set up for after," and just the veteran stuff, which was great. And I saw last time I saw Craigie was Craig England was at Dane's wedding, and it was a couple summer or last summer, the summer before,
Yeah.
and yeah, last summer, and it was just like, oh, it was so good to see him again. But yeah, no, him, yeah,
That's wild. That's
yeah.
wild. I remember Craig when he was just coming into the league and coming into Toronto and trying to get his kick in it. And then of course when he went to Buffalo and really kind of spread his wings too.
Yeah.
Now, how's your game evolved since your rookie year? Now we all know that you become the human highlight reel. Like we can't turn on Sports Center, we can't turn on YouTube without catching a lot of your highlight goals.
Yeah.
But overall, how did your game evolve since being a rookie?
Finding that happy medium of the speed, right? And also, personally, I think I've become a lot more mature and smarter as a player. Of like
Right.
young gun is just like going. So I talked to JT about this a couple of times. It's like in the first couple of years that he coached me, it was I'd go underneath, and it was either it was going in the net or I was getting a crease violation because if I went to roll out, I wouldn't roll. I'd roll out too deep and then turnover or something like that.
Right.
He like said that I was like, "Kid, I'd watch a lot of film, like on just I don't watch film to like pick up defenders like habits or anything like that. I watch film just to see if like little different techniques and movements and areas that I need to be in to help
Mhm.
either my game or teammates." But it was so biggest learning thing is I slowed the game down a bit. Just
Right.
became a little bit more smarter and growing up, kind of like just being with like in college and then my last little half of juniors, just like being like kind of like the guy, as in like we all kind of were growing up. It was like Dane was the guy, Josh was the guy, Chris was the guy. Dehoka was the guy. I was the guy on those teams that we were all growing up playing for. So it was like that adjustment of being like, okay, I got to learn a different role. So yeah, learned a different role of more so like a pick setting aspect of things, slowed the game down a bit, and just became a bit smarter on decision making and that.
Right. It's interesting because you bring up all the guys, the Buffalo is loaded, absolutely loaded with superstars from all over, all walks of life, whether it's transition, whether it's offense, whether it's defense. But the one constant in this thing is it's a group. What is the thing that just keeps this, because, the biggest thing with a lot of the groups that don't ever click together is there's only one ball. All these superstars, but only one ball.
Yeah.
What makes it that the Bandits are a family? It's not even so much a team anymore. They're a family. That you guys are able to just mesh so beautifully that everybody knows where everybody is, but it's on, off the floor. It doesn't seem to matter.
I'd have to kind of like, we enjoy each other a lot. And we also, I kind of have to give a little bit here to like the management of Buffalo being
Right.
able to keep everybody in market. Right. So when I first got here, we all lived in an apartment building together with 2 or 3 apartments with 6 guys in it. Basically, we just bounced around to each other's floors. And then from there, we all go to move into a massive house with each other. Right. So it's just like we say, besides the last 2.5, 3 years, we've all been pretty much in each other's pockets for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? Just doing everything together, working out, recovery, golf, just hanging out, anything you can imagine. It was always done together. And we also have like a lot of similarities with how we kind of are as individuals. All right, we're all wired a little just different, and just have that kind of that we all kind of understand. Um, and we don't like to lose. Like I said, like we all have that. Like we all want to be the best kind of, and just keep that winning train just going. That's basically what's. We all just have the same kind of understanding of the goal. We all have the same end goal, and are willing to do whatever it takes, means necessary to get it done.
Right. Let's talk about Bandit Land in its own right. That place is insane. We talked again off air about it, and to be in there just in the press box is nuts. Just to hearing the noise, and of course the background picture is of Bandit Land, and the only place which gets 19,000 pretty much consistently for a game. That is the true major league of lacrosse.
Yeah.
Talk about it as a player coming out, and when you originally came out into this, coming from smaller, D2 schools and WLA. Now you're in the Bandit Land, and there's 19,000 screaming maniacs out there that live and breathe this game. Talk about that as an energy and a explanation point.
Man, it was incredible. It was incredible from the first time that I stepped onto that Banditland turf. Game 1 of my rookie year was against Toronto, in Buffalo. You couldn't ask for a better game than that. We ended up winning, and which was wicked. Scored my first goal on a quick stick that I've never I didn't score quick sticks before, and I was just like, but but the energy in that building is insane. But growing up in smaller arenas, smaller kind of like just markets, not getting that many people out. I'd say I think for my first game of my NLL career, there were probably 14,000 people there. So basically, like the lower bowl, pretty much packed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my god, like the butterflies, the jitters. I used to be a massive pregame puker, like just with the nerves and like all that stuff. But no, so like I'll never forget like the first goal I scored and just what you feel from everybody around you. And then what kind of tops that is like the first kind of fight you get into in Buffalo. You're like, holy smokes, you guys, like you're even louder for that. But no, being like having that just that feeling or just knowledge that every Saturday, Friday night that we show up in Buffalo that we are backed by, I'd say, at least 17,000 people there that are all about it and know all the chants, know like everything, and like after the games at like Cobblestone, you can't even walk around because there is probably 1,000 people in a small bar just like
Yep.
wanting to either like hang out or just be around us or talk to, which we do take the time to go around and talk to these people, and like because we are so appreciative of everything that they do for us. And one thing that JT kind of says, like his pregame speech is, or one thing he says all the time is, these money or these people pay their hard-earned money that they work for to come watch you guys play. So better make it fucking worth
Yeah.
it. So
Chase,
yeah,
Chase, I can imagine right now that when you, to answer your question, because you're struggling with it, it's kind of, you talk about going into the crowd and seeing the big crowd and all that energy that's in the building. It's kind of weird, I guess, because you dream all your life to play in front of that crowd. And is that probably why you don't take it for granted?
yeah, exactly. Like it's, I don't know, you're in the kid, like everybody practices the buzzer beater, like right, and it's like going down and like yeah, the fan goes wild, but like when you hit a goal and all of a sudden it's like your dream becomes reality when you do something crazy and everyone's actually going nuts. You're like, oh, this is surreal. Like it's an outer body experience sometimes, and it's, I don't know, as you see, I'm a pretty emotional player, and so I feed off of energy, and that, so when the energy's super high and I score an important goal, like I'm going nuts myself, just to, just because I have to. Like it's just those, it's physics.
And that's why when you go in the locker room with the guys that you play with, that's what makes that's you don't know it yet, or you may have talked to players that have retired. That's why they miss so much going into the locker room. It's
Yeah.
about being there and then getting out to that big moment.
No, yeah, because we all, it's like a little family, like in that locker room that everyone's like do or die for, no matter what, no questions asked. Like basically that movie. We got some. I need your help. I got
There's
something
a
to do.
million of them. There's a
Yeah.
million of them. There's a
Yeah.
million of them
I
that,
need your
that
help.
yeah.
Got something to do. Somebody might get hurt. All right, whose car are we taking? That's like that's how everybody is in that Bandits locker room. No questions asked. So let's just go deal with it. So like knowing that you have that connection, community bond in that room, to then go out onto the floor and that bond to then times 100 in size build because of Bandit Land. It's just like you feel untouchable
Right.
at the end of the day. It's just like it's us
And if
against you, or Buffalo versus everybody at the end of the day.
Mhm. And if you
Well,
guys, if you do wind up in that lull, you got Swenny, who has got
Oh,
everybody trained with everything, and he's been doing it since day one. If you go onto my YouTube channel for All Across All the Time, I inherited Bill Fox's collection over COVID of all of his tapes from Mill on outward. So
no
probably
way.
from Eagle, even I think from '87 to about 2010. I've
Yeah.
got about 40 or 50 of the games. I've got a ton of Bandits games. And, of course, the one constant in it is Swenny.
He is the absolute man. Like such a just a great guy, and he is probably the heart of the family at the end of the day. Like he's around for every kind of event or situation that you could possibly be. Him and Brett, his son, are just, it's, they are the heart of the family, and they mean so much to each player, a lot individually, and then the team, and I guess I want to say even city, as like just so much to the city. Like it's awesome. He's
Right.
just such a nice, genuine guy and does so much for the league. That honestly, he does a lot for the league, the team, the
Mm-hmm.
sport, and like everybody who comes to Bandits games. Just that he makes the experience so much more worth it.
Yeah, the in-game experience is second to none. I've
Yeah.
been to about every single arena, and including summer and everything else, and there is nothing that compares to Swenny and Banditland.
He's a special human being.
Absolutely. Now let's get on to these championships. You guys had a couple of kicks at it, and come up just short, and some of them were just absolute head scratchers. Finally comes 2023, and you guys break through. And I was telling you, I was up in the press box, and the city was so ready for it that coming into it, first off, you guys win the game 13-4. So,
Yeah.
Matt goes to a whole new level of incredible. But everybody was on the page that day, right from the word go. And you can feel it in Bandit Land. Everything in that building, which is a little unnerving up in the roof, is everything is rumbling. And as it's coming down to it, you can't hear the horn. You can't hear yourself think. And here it is. Finally, after years, you guys are that championship team. Talk about that experience.
Man, the first one was incredible. Yeah, we had 2 losses before that, which at the end of the day, you got to learn to lose before you can win. And from how we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, kind of funny as a group of like our 2019-2020 kind of season when we've lost to Calgary and then Colorado kind of gave us the feeling that we thought our shit didn't stink. Like we went 15-4 both seasons, and like, all right, yeah, like if you want to come and get it, and then we just ended up not being able to capitalize at the end of it. But no, getting that first one, going into game 3 for the first one, it was it's a feeling I'll never forget. Driving down back by everybody, by the casino here, the parking lots, down into the players' lot, and just the amount of people that were out here. Man, normally I'm windows up, just like in my own thing. I had my windows down, music just hammering, like saying hi to fans. I'm like, no, we're winning this game. Like we're rolling in here, just like feeling good, feeling like going to the game. It was all like it was serious, but like a good like light serious. And then as
Right.
soon as the game kicked off, it was just like, but even like one of those ones like where I couldn't tell you the score of the game during the game until it was over. Like you saying it was 13-4, I'm like, oh right, we absolutely blew them out. But like we throughout the game, it doesn't feel like you're blowing them out because it's just like such an high intensity kind of just environment that you don't want to let slip again because we've let so many, we let 2 in a row slip. And it's like if you lose 3 in a row, like the city might have been cursed.
Right. Right.
But
But each
yeah,
one of those championships you won differently.
yeah,
The second one, you guys were underdogs because you guys had injuries all year long. You were out for a while.
yeah, I
Boots was
missed the
out for
first
a
half.
while. Everybody in that thing. Byrne was out through a good chunk of it. All the guys were out. Nanacoke, you guys didn't come back, and you guys really weren't a team till probably 2 or 3 games from the end of the season. But boy, when you guys came together, and I remember being in the press conference with JT, and he just had this look of relief on his face. It's like it meshed. Everything is in. Now it's to get the rust off, get everybody on, and forward. But
Yeah.
that was the most, I think, the word I'm looking for. You guys were under the gun at that one because nobody expected this to repeat because it was just so much adversity that year.
No, yeah, like that. Yeah, I missed the first half of the season. As soon as I came back, Chris was out, and then yeah, Dane had some things go on. Hogs has some things go. Josh, it's just like everybody. Then yeah, we lost D guys that went down at certain times. Yeah, we didn't have our full kind of roster
Yeah.
until yeah, I guess like 2 weeks left of the season, and then but that's just that comes into the just the group of like once we had our boys, everybody the core, everybody gets together. That's the mentality. The yeah, backs against the wall, or hey, you want to see something crazy? Let's do something crazy. Like
Yep.
yeah, we just had the same goal and just mindset just to get it done, and we got it
Right.
done.
Right. And this last year, again, adversity, because you guys had like 14 bye weeks in the first 15 weeks. It was crazy. And then all of a sudden, the last bit is 12 games in 10 weeks. And I remember talking to you guys at Cobblestones going, as long as the team that was out there, as long as you guys stayed healthy and were smart enough to stay healthy, there's nobody going to stop you. There's absolutely
No.
nobody to stop you. And everybody's kind of looking at me kind of, but it was the truth because I actually thought defensive wise, you guys got meaner. You were big, you were meaner. And the rest of the team, you guys meshed so well together and everybody being healthy. It was just, it was like watching the Harlem Globetrotters at times because you guys just freewheeled and did your own thing.
That drove JT nuts sometimes, but no.
I
But
can
yeah,
believe
no, it was yeah, it's like yeah, we kind of did get. No, we picked up Paulie last year, and then had him come in this year, which was just like that's just a really scary individual if you just think of Paulie in a sense, right? But yeah,
yeah.
no, I mean it's Buffalo kind of lacrosse has like the big bad mean Buffalo Bandits, and they want to keep that the way it is. And if that's the case, I'm all about it because I'm out the front door and I'm not the one getting hit by our defense. I'm not the one
Right.
dealing with our defense, so it's fine. No, our defense, it's yeah, awesome. Everybody out there is really just ready to go for each other in any situation. The communication is unreal, but then you have our leader V with you got Priolo, Dawson, you got some older guys back there. Weiser, Marty, Spanger, like those some veterans that has some pretty good experience and a lot of knowledge in this game. That kind of just help drive the boat. Right? They
Right.
give us the fuel to be able to do the Harlem Globetrotter stuff at times because we know we have like the best defensive kind of unit out there with the best goalie that's going to get us the ball back here in about 30 seconds, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah. And even when you had injuries, because Spanger went down, he was having a great year too. And he was just came into his own transitionally. He was having just a fantastic year. And then the knee or the ankle, whatever it was that got him. But and then you got to give Chugger a lot of credit because he goes out and he gets Kyle Matisse, who fits in real nicely, even though he had a day or two where he was injured, but coming back strong in the playoffs. You guys pick up, a great guy to come fit in transition with Ron John,
yeah.
and all these other little pieces that he picked up along the way that just complemented everything about it. Nothing upset the apple cart. Everything just complemented what you guys were all about.
No, with GM or Chugger being the GM that he is, it amazes me of like the pieces that he has and then the pieces he's still able to get. Right? Like we still had first round draft picks, always still have a first round draft pick every season and some other picks that come up from other players. But yeah, no, them adding Matisse just adds to the size. And at the end of the day, Matisse was one of those ones that you could put him out the front door if you really needed to.
Yep.
And then yeah, Ron John coming in with his athleticism and just the way he plays is that same kind of style of it's fuck you ball basically of just like sorry if yeah, with that. But yeah, no, then we kind of did almost run into injury trouble this year. Our last game of the year against Georgia, we had 3 D guys go down and just we were like, oh fuck. Like not again. Like here we go. But a little adversity is all we kind of need sometimes.
Yeah, and as the playoffs went along, the big thing was with Saskatchewan, I think, was the one that they actually took on you guys. Well, that just kind of woke the giant in you because you
Yeah.
weren't going to let this three-peat slide by. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's just one of the things like we didn't do is like we haven't won like what I was thinking we kind of talked about. We didn't win a championship in someone else's barn. And I'm like, so we were thinking like, fuck, we might be able to do this in Sask, but then we coughed that one up, and then coming back, it was all right. There's no way we're losing for a three-peat at home. Just like we know, Bandit Land's going to show out, the energy's going to be insane, and just going to go out that way, and just going to play our ball. And basically woke the giant up, and we had like our team meetings afterwards. But everybody went to dinner together, and just we stayed tight as a group after a loss, which is important because the first year when we lost to Colorado, after we lost that game too, it was to be honest with you, it was a panic. Like we were like, oh shit, like we're really gonna do this again, and everybody just kind of stayed to themselves, stayed in their hotel rooms, and just like panicked. And then the year after, or the first one we won, we lost in Colorado again for game 2, and it was nope, everybody, we're going out to eat, just like we're gonna go out and just talk about it for an hour and then go have some fun. And then that's kind of what the mentality is at that or after losing now. It's
Right.
realize what you did, where you messed up, sit in it for a little bit, done. Okay, cool, day's over. Basically, as soon as it hits midnight, like it's done.
Mhm.
Day's over, game's done, let's go to the next one.
Right.
And we have
Well,
like
you
a
answered your question though, like when I asked you about how your career has evolved, but as a team, the same thing.
Yep.
What I noticed from when you guys lost against Calgary, I think it was the big thing was it's a party, 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 or it's a party, it's a party, it's a party, and
Yeah.
it's gone into being businesslike. You guys are corporate, but still family, and it's all about what's seeing the goal. What do we need to do now? We got to get to, and that's the difference between the years that you didn't make it and the years that you are dominant now.
Yeah. Professionalism at the end of the day.
That's it exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump over to PLL. You and I guess it became the Buffalo Chaos. Jump on over, and again, as a family, you guys all move over, and of course, what happens when winners get together? They win.
We win.
And in the PLL, you guys win when the championship is Chaos. Let's talk about that, because now we're going full circle, because being a field guy, now you're out doing your thing, blueprinting, and you're actually able to do both because you're freewheeling and kind of doing a Canadian thing, playing box on field.
Yeah, no, so it was awesome. Getting that call to get like the tryout to go play for the Chaos at 22 season. Yeah, 22 season. No, it was an awesome experience. Especially once played my last game of college in 17, right?
Yep.
So I had a couple years off from playing field, but was lucky enough that it was a box style offense that we ran in field. We did 3-man games on each side of the floor or each side of the field, which was awesome. And then, yeah, playing with Dane makes it pretty easy. With then Josh and Chris being on my attack line, it was awesome. And then Challen Rogers being on that team, still having that same IQ and knowledge of the sport the system that we were trying to run. And just the coaching staff and everybody. I had a lot of fun playing for the Chaos in the PLL.
Right. Talk about the traveling roadshow of the PLL. It's so different from anything we've ever seen, and how it works so well that it doesn't matter if you have names on the teams, but to have everybody in that venue at one point or another is really special for the fans, because you're going to see all your favorites that weekend.
No, yeah, like the travel aspect or travel concept of what they've been doing it's really cool. At first it's weird to think of just like, hey, like I'm playing in a different city every weekend and I don't have a home base.
Right.
But then once you kind of like get into it, at the end of the day, it's kind of like lacrosse fans. They're gonna, if there's lacrosse on at the high level, that they're gonna come watch it. And field lacrosse fans and box lacrosse fans, they're opposite ends of the spectrum right now, but they're still at the end of the day meet in the middle because they both love the sport and they are always out there to support it. But oh yeah, like flying into like some of the stadiums we played out of, like going down to Dallas, like playing out of Jerry's World, like playing out of the Dallas Cowboys practice facility. That's unreal. Going to Minnesota, their practice facility, playing out of Jet Life, like.
Right.
It's wicked, like the stadiums and venues that the PLL is able to play in with the caliber of athleticism and players that are playing the sport. It's awesome.
Right. Talk about the coaching there. How is it different or the same compared to some of the other coaches you've had all through your career?
Andy Towers is it's a different coach. You don't really get many coaches that are like that guy, that are really basically, he's pretty straight up with you about what he wants and what his expectations are. Has his way of doing it, but is also very open to conversation and adjustments. Really good guy to be around, really good guy to have on your side. Very intense, as in as everybody has seen from the videos that have popped up, very intense, which trickles down into how we kind of played as a team. We were very intense, very physical, and just like, I don't know, say pretty aggressive team. With you got Rowlett at the back door out there. He's kind of he's nuts, but in a great way, with them, and then Towers basically kind of like ran the whole thing. And but Maddie, fucking, why am I so bad with this? I forget his name. I always say Matty Palin because I love the ref. Matty Palin is the guy.
He's wild too.
But I forget our assistant coach's name for some reason. That's a bad look on me, but it is what it is. It was a lot of fun there with him and just how it was. And like with the group of guys that we had, it was always just showing up just to hang out with your buddies and play the game that we love to do.
Right. I'll give you the Macaulay line every time you have something to lose them. I've been punched in the head a few times, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. Taking a lot of shots to the head. Forget my name. It wasn't on the back of my jersey sometimes.
I want to talk a bit about this past summer, because a little bit of surprise to me is you didn't join all your brothers out in Six Nations for the as John Gertler and I have dubbed it, the Six Nations Bandits, um, on their three-peat. So, but you're in with Allegheny. Talk about what got you to Allegheny.
Um, so I started last summer. Was my first summer with Allegheny, and PLL just kind of came to the end for me. And I'm like, "Hey, do I want to play summer ball?" I was like, I didn't want to go back out west. Like I was living in Buffalo for full time here. It's like, yeah, I don't really want to go out west for the summer to have to move back for another season. And so I
Right.
was like, hey, like, what can I do? And Chris Kluche was like, hey, like, there's a senior B team down here that's or that he's going to play for, and you should reach out to him. And thought about it, and I was like, if I wanted to play it, might as well. So went down there. Kebby Bomberry reached out to me and
Mm-hmm.
asked me if I'd play, and I was like, yeah. So I went down there last summer and had a lot of fun. Um, Hanging out with those guys, being on the res out there for a bit. Um, Learned a lot, just about like just yeah, learned a lot and
Yeah,
had a
probably
lot of
about
fun
life in
doing it.
general, like you're going with, yeah.
Yeah, just about like life, but just like a different. I don't know. One thing that I've kind of like said is about playing lacrosse, with it being the Native American sport. Um, I never kind of had that opportunity to like kind of understand where it kind of came from. So like these past 2 summers, I took advantage in a sense of just like observing and just being super open to a new culture and a new community. And
Right.
it was a lot of fun to be a part of. Like
Yeah.
it is like yeah, nothing but good things to say about being down there within Allegheny this past 2 summers, and just how the people are of like the best thing is for me is it's the kids, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
show up to the arena of our games at 7. I get there at 5. There's kids already running around playing lacrosse everywhere. And like I'll go out on the floor, I'm playing pass with these kids before warm ups and just like that. And then all the elders that are sitting there, you go talk to them and they're like, thank you and all this stuff. I'm like, I'm just here to play the game that you guys created for us and all that kind of stuff. But no, it was an awesome experience, and then just sucks that we've kind of fell short in the past 2 Presidents Cup.
Right.
But
Well,
no,
we talked about this one after that game. We talked up in the thing there, and
yeah,
it's funny because you guys had probably the two best games that I watched in the President's Cup, and one you won, one you didn't, and you know it wasn't from lack of effort. God, you guys just put together probably the one of the best comebacks I had seen against Edmonton, because it looked like that thing was over, and
yeah,
you turn around and you guys are in a lead, and you, Klutz, both of you guys really put the team on your shoulders and just absolutely went to town and brought everybody's game up on both sides, really.
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, no, it was. I mean, me and Kluge have been playing on the same team now for what 6 or 7 years. Um, so we're kind of like the package deal. Wherever one of us is going, we're probably the other one's coming with us. Um,
Right.
with all that stuff, but no, it was just playing with him. I mean, they don't call him Clutch Kluche for a reason.
Yeah.
He's always around there to get the ball going, and if I need to get the juice flowing for a bit, I'm capable of doing that too. But we're really good buddies and able just to ride off each other's energy and just ball together.
Right. Well, that tournament had every one of us
Yeah,
doing our
yeah.
special thing. Even had me doing the anthems for the gold medal game. Right.
Awesome.
We all we all
Yeah,
we
no,
all
we
had
also
our.
had like a lot of help there too. You got Zach Miller, right? He's buzzing around, just coming back after his knee injury.
Yeah.
Lane Smith's a big body that's able to do it, and I got Amos Whitcomb, who just got drafted by Rochester, he's got a bright future if he buckles down and gets it figured out. Um, and then yeah, Colton Marquise was another kid we picked up who's got a really bright future if he keeps going. He did well this past weekend at the Atlas Cup. I watched a bit of that and excited. I'm going to pay attention to him in Albany and his career coming up here, because I was actually his roommate. We
Oh,
roomed together for the whole week. It was kind of funny, but the new young kid with the old guy. So
right.
no, got to
Fun
know
calling
him.
yourself the old guy now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird. It's an adjustment here. It's an adjustment. I got that thing. I'm officially 30, so I'm like, geez.
There you go.
But um, yeah, it was a great group of guys down in Allegheny from staff down. They get Zeddy coaching us, and Zed's a great guy. Um, get Billy D, just the nutcase on the bench. And then everybody else was from the Chase Martin's great, good guy. Goa, just everybody was doing their stuff. But yeah, we just ended up falling short.
Right. Now, you mentioned Colton, Mark. I was lucky enough to watch him last summer in Peterborough and really spread his wings there. And you're right. He really does have a bright future.
Yeah.
And, he'll get it together. And same thing with Whitcomb. He's going to get it together. Because the other, this ties in real nicely, is you're the owner of the Rochester Bats, Mike Cooper, can't stop raving about Whitcomb and how great a player he's going to become.
Oh, yeah.
And so that brings me over to, of course, the Rochester Bats, and you just finished the Laxney tournament, and what a tournament, man! What a tournament!
So
and the shortened
cool.
games just make for such excitement because you can't sleep for a second, or you're looking at the L.
Yeah. No, the last night was awesome. I've heard about it and just been all right, I've seen kind of things over the years about what it was. And Cooper reached out to me, what was it, beginning of August or end of August, somewhere around that time. It was like, hey, Black's Night's coming up, or would you want to play? And I was like, yeah, sure. It was actually Jeff Geddes on the Allegheny Arrows team comes to me and goes, hey, Cooper's asking me if you would play. And I'm like, yeah, tell him to send me a message. We can figure something out. And just gave me the details on dates and all that kind of stuff. And he did. And I was like, man, I got nothing going on that weekend. And why not just right before camp go play one more time before all that? I had a lot of fun going down there. Super cool tournament. Just how it's all set up. I don't know, it was over 100+ teams there for all divisions that are there. So it was wicked to be a part, and just how it's the 30-minute games just constantly rolling over, and just seeing guys talk to guys from Germany team and just from all over the world, and just it's really cool place just to bring a bunch of lacrosse players together,
Right.
and just to play and celebrate the game.
Well, I'm every year I'm over in Prague with the Rubeski tournament with the Gales. I imagine that that's on the radar when you call it quits in the NLL, because God knows you'll never be out of the playoffs, so you'll never be able to make it while you're playing. But when you're done,
Prague is definitely on the list. That's a big tournament I want to do at least once.
yeah, there's so many former NLLers, guys who didn't make the playoffs, and all the other things. But the thing that always gets me is, over the years that I've been going there now, is watching European lacrosse start making their way up the ladder. And if we're not careful, it'd be like hockey. You're going to watch all these European teams kind of go, "Ooh, gee, where'd they come from?"
I mean, if it's growing the sport, it grows the sport. Keep going. If it gets bigger over there, that'd be sweet. Imagine getting some European kid drafted in the first round of the NLL. That's gonna be awesome.
I can see it happening sooner rather than later, because I've had the commissioner on before from NBLL out of Prague, and they're in I think 3 different countries or different things like that. They're in Germany. They're all over the place, but they have an 80-game season that's gone through 6 or 7 months. They have their Prague television and YouTube and all the other stuff going on, all these different venues. So when these guys are playing, they're playing. And when you're talking about their big team in Raditon, that's the Czech national team, really. They can compete with a lot of the NLL guys, I think.
Wow, that's sweet to hear.
So it's up and coming, and it really to watch places like Poland, Finland, and all these other places start really elevating their games now, and a lot of NLL guys like yourselves who are taking the extra time and giving back and coaching. Well, now everything is starting to move forward.
I think the biggest thing for I guess that is to learning the box game, because there's a lot of just stuff you can't learn from watching. You just got to learn from kind of doing and being instructed about. It's just plays and just concepts of timing and all that kind of stuff. It takes time. It's not something you can just as you see with field players transitioning from field to box. It's an adjustment.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, The Olympics coming up in a couple of years. I'm assuming that you're gonna be in this thing because you really haven't done anything with the Canadian teams, but I think this is the one that's in your wheelhouse. Sixes, fast paced, wheeling, shooting, doing all the things that make you and your game so special. I think this is one of the things that suits you. What's your thoughts on sixes?
I watched the Atlas Cup this weekend, and I watched like the World Games last year when they were in Alabama. It was
Mm-hmm.
2 summers ago. Sixes is it's exciting. It is kind of just a fast paced game of just pick it up and go. And yeah, I do feel like that kind of does suit my kind of playing style, which is awesome. And if ended up well in the Olympic team, that would be an absolute dream come true because every child or kid as an athlete is like, yeah, I want to be in the Olympics one day. So if you could end up wearing the country's colors for on an Olympic stage, that'd be absolutely amazing.
Your history dictates that you could play that way. You have a deep history in field lacrosse and, of course, box. And that game is well suited for either.
Yeah, no, I agree. Can't say you're wrong. I don't want to call you a liar.
You can if you want.
No, no, I
I
agree.
am.
Just at that fast pace. I don't know. I've got a pretty heavy shot. I got some good wheels underneath me. So,
Yep.
yeah, I agree. I could do pretty well or help out pretty well with that.
Yeah, with that kind of a shot and give you a 6x6 net. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And how much do you look forward to that kind of experience? What curiosity do you have about the game? Specifically how it lines up with your game, aside from the positives, even the things that you're curious about, whether you can handle or not.
I'm not curious if I can handle it. No, I can handle it.
Yeah.
But just like it's a new concept of kind of lacrosse. Right? I was talking to Ian, who's going to Oshawa here, and was it next weekend or the weekend before to do
Thanksgiving weekend, I think it's next
yeah,
weekend.
so next weekend. So he's doing that one, and we were like kind of talking of just like understanding the different flows of the game in a sense, and more so. I'm personally like right now thinking of it like a basketball game. There's certain times to turn up the tempo and turn up the speed, or then play more defensive roles, and then you're pressing. Just like there's going to be an adjustment for everybody. That's why like they're playing so much these World Sixes games right now. I'm just trying to like find the right players for it, and also just let the players understand the game fully. You watch Jeff T. He's pretty good at dissecting lacrosse, and it took him like that one game against Haudenosaunee and then against USA, what he had 7 in the first half. Like
Yeah.
it's just honest, just watch Jeff Teaton how he plays sixes is probably the best way to play sixes. And then you got Zach Courier coming in too, who is probably a really good candidate for that as well. And I'm also excited to see Ian running sixes with the way he plays. That's a perfect game for him.
Yeah. No, I agree. A couple of little small things. Do you think, I don't want to touch on the CBA and stuff like that because, who knows what's going to go on, and we'll let them kind of figure that out, and let's hope they get the right thing done. But do you think the NLL is missing the boat on not having an all-star weekend? The PLL has gone to town with it and really been able to market, especially with ESPN, TSN, and ABC even, and being able to really get it out to a crowd that's never seen it before.
Yeah, if you're really trying to like grow the box game, an all-star weekend somewhere in a like these other markets we're trying to like put into like the school program thing that the NLL is doing,
Yeah.
like that, going to those random areas, but like having it planned in a year in advance and like having the promotions for it. So that's the big thing, is just like right now to be like, yo, in 3 months we're having the all-star game in Lexington, Kentucky. You're probably not going to get many seats in the next 3 months or tickets sold for the 3 months there. But you go like, say, season 27, 28, you got, say, somewhere in LA or wherever you start promoting that. I think you could do pretty well.
Right.
And like, so I think it would be a lot of fun too, like for the player. But then you'd also have to get down into the logistics things of all that. But I'd play in an all-star game because it'd be wicked. I think it'd be a lot
Right.
of fun.
Well, I'll give Frank props on this one because he came up with this idea, and it's one that the NHL kind of used before. Is you take the championship team, so you guys, and we let you host it, so you have a year to market it, or the better part of a year, and it's you as the Bandits going against the NLL All Stars, which puts a little bit more emphasis on the game. You don't want to lose to the All Stars, and the All Stars don't want to lose to the Bandits. So now we actually get a game, not this game of tag that we watch where 700 points in basketball and flag football and NFL and stuff like that. Where we actually get a game, and in between was maybe on a Friday night, you have the skills competition. In a place like Banditland, you're going to get between 13 and 15, if not a full house for it. So it's going to be great for TV numbers. It'll be great for shooting it because you have an NHL arena, so you have all these different angles.
Yeah,
and you have the oomph of the Bandits and the oomph of the NLL All Stars who want to kind of do it. And if Rochester wins it, then we do it there. If Toronto wins it, we do it there. Whatever. But you have a year to market it, so it's not like we got 2 weeks to market a game.
Yeah.
We just thought of.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Like that's not
They
a
used to
bad
do it in the
idea.
National Hockey League when I was young.
Really?
A long time ago.
Wow. I like what the NHL's doing now. The Four Nations thing for that's incredible. Nothing's gonna beat that. Honestly.
Well, they're trying to figure out a way to make the games count, right?
Yeah.
Now, if we did something like that in lacrosse, it would be the 2 nations.
Yeah. 3 nations.
Actually, it could be 3.
3 nations.
It could be 3 nations.
Yeah. Because there is a lot more American kind of based NLLers kind of coming up in here. Which...
Yeah, and I stupidly left out the natives.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if there could be 2 teams from the natives.
Maybe you could do even like a Canada West, Canada East.
You could even do with native. You can do Native American, Native Canadian, and you can have out of 6 nations and out of Syracuse or Onondaga. And do it that way.
I was just saying that because Chase liked the 4-team thing.
4 nations. That just was that Canada-U.S. battle for that 4 nations was insane.
Yeah, well, that's why that was so important. So when you divide Canada up, it gets a little less personal, I guess, is the way to put it.
Not when you go coast to coast, though. If you ever separate West Coast Canada and East Coast Canada, that's still going to be a battle. That's basically it's the manner, right? Like, basically, it's what it should be. So
yeah, and I guess if the East Coast Canada played the U.S., it'd be the same thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like you put us into our nation's colors on whatever coast, or it's going to be a battle either way? No one wants to lose wearing their nation's colors.
I guess it brings up the question: how curious are you? Like, for example, in that format where you're playing an all-star game, whether it's your team against all-stars, how curious are you to see that many really good players on the floor at one time?
I mean, half the time you could say a lot of NLL games are all-star teams playing against each other, right? But no, that it'd be a really either low-scoring game or a high-scoring game. You never know. Like, depends if the goalies are on, but it'd be a lot of fun for people to watch because there'd be big hits.
That's it right there.
And just like there'd be some pretty massive hits. I'd say that.
I say it all the time: is the big winners in all of this would be the fans. Because regardless who wins, you take a look at the talent and you take a look at what you're going to see, and everybody one-upping one another and having a great time and growing the game. Yeah. And that's the bottom line, is growing the game.
Absolutely. That's all we got to try and do here is continue to grow this game.
Absolutely. Listen, thanks so much for taking the time. I can't tell you enough, just sharing the journey, telling, just showing your heart, grit, passion, every level of the game. And, of course, the human highlight reel, that never hurts, right?
Never hurts. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Our pleasure.
No problem.
All right. For Gary Groob and, of course, our special guest, Chase Fraser, of course, of the Buffalo Bandits, Gary of the National Anthem guy. That's what I'm going to call him from now on, the National Anthem guy. I'm Candid Frank. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again next Thursday at 4 o'clock.